Good morning, everyone. I am Sharvin Gunalan, 1211103357, part of the cybersecurity team here at XYZ Semiconductor Limited. Today, I am excited to share our findings from the recent risk assessment of our SCADA systems, which are critical to our manufacturing operations. Let's begin with the vulnerabilities we have identified. Our SCADA networks operates on some legacy systems. These older platforms often lack vendor support and can harbor unpatched vulnerabilities, posing significant risks. Additionally, these systems are part of our broader network, increasing their exposure and the potential for unauthorized access. We have also noted a lack of consistent patching in insufficient access controls, which could allow unauthorized entries. Moreover, our current monitoring systems are inadequate to detect and respond to malicious activities swiftly. So, given these vulnerabilities, we face several threats. Cyber attacks can exploit outdated software, potentially disrupting our operations. Our exposed network interfaces are another entry point for unauthorized access, which can lead to data thief or operational interference. Furthermore, the lack of regular software updates make us a prime target for exploits that use known vulnerabilities. We must also consider insider threats and the potential delay in detecting malicious activities, which could escalate the damage. Okay, moving to risk severity, we categorize the overall risk as moderate due to the potential for disruption through its manageable with strategic interventions. Our assessment shows that while the likelihood of an attack is moderate, the impact could also be moderate but can be contained with the right measures. To address this risk, we propose several risk treatments. To address this risk, we propose several risk treatments. First, upgrading or replacing outdated components will increase the number of exploitable vulnerabilities significantly, reducing both the likelihood and impact of attacks. Implementing network segmentation and advanced firewall will further isolate our SCADA systems from external threats. A patch management program is essential to keep all systems up to date and secure against known vulnerabilities. Additionally, we recommend implementing multi factor authentication, which is MFA, and access controls to ensure that only unauthorized personnel can access our SCADA systems. These measures will not only reduce the likelihood of unauthorized access but also mitigate potential impacts. In conclusion, by adopting these risk treatments, we can significantly lower our exposure and enhance the security of our SCADA networks. Thank you for your attention. I will now pass to who will discuss the risk assessment for the next critical asset.
Hello everyone, I am Satish and I work as a cybersecurity specialist focusing on data security here at XYZ Semiconductor Limited. It's my pleasure to discuss the security of our critical assets, specifically our file servers and data warehouse. To begin, let's address the key vulnerabilities in our system. Our assessment has identified four major areas of concern. First, our access controls are currently not robust enough, which could potentially allow unauthorized individuals access to sensitive information. This is a critical flaw as it directly threatens the integrity and confidentiality of our data. Secondly, we have numerous endpoints operating on outdated software. This not only increases our risk of cyber attacks but also makes us vulnerable to malware infections that could cripple our operations. Moreover, our critical data lacks sufficient data encryption, both in storage and during transmission. This oversight leaves us exposed to data breaches. Another significant issue is our reliance on single file servers for storing critical data. This creates a single point of failure, making it possible for a single hardware or software failure to result in a substantial data loss or an extended downtime, which is a risk we cannot afford. Turning to threats, the vulnerabilities mentioned translate into several moderate threats. One of which is where an external actor could exploit our weak defense. to access or alter our sensitive data. Additionally, the presence of outdated software significantly increases our exposure to malware, which could disrupt our operations severely and lead to financial and reputational damage. The lack of data encryption is particularly concerning because without encryption, our data transmissions and storage are like an open book available for any skilled hacker to read. This not only risks our business operations but also places us in a precarious position regarding regulatory compliance. Now let's talk about our response strategies. To combat this risk, we are implementing several robust measures. First, enhancing our access controls through role-based access and multi-factor authentication, which will significantly secure our data against unauthorized access. Next, establishing a strict schedule for regular software updates will protect us against known vulnerabilities and reduce our susceptibility to malware attacks. Moreover, we will encrypt all sensitive data, ensuring that even if data is intercepted, it remains unreachable to unauthorized parties. Finally, to address the risk of data loss from a single point of failure, we will introduce redundancy and implement a comprehensive backup strategy. This will ensure that our operations can continue smoothly even in the event of a system failure. To sum up, by tackling these issues head on with targeted strategies, we can significantly fortify our cybersecurity posture. That is all from me. Thank you for your attention. I will now pass the presentation over to Nitya, who will continue with their segment on their risk assessment.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Nitya, a member of our cybersecurity team at XYZ Semiconductor Limited. Today, I will discuss the security of three main critical components of our infrastructure: the financial server, the procurement server, and maintenance production server. Let's start with our financial server. It faces significant vulnerabilities such as outdated software that hasn't been regularly patched, weak access controls relying on simple passwords without multi-factor authentication, and outdated encryption protocol for sensitive financial data. So these vulnerabilities expose us to various threats. For instance, ransomware attacks could exploit unpatched vulnerabilities, unauthorized access could lead to data manipulation or even theft, and weak encryption could allow for interception of sensitive financial information. The risk severity here is moderate, so if exploited, these vulnerabilities could disrupt critical functions such as transaction processing, financial reporting, customer service, potentially causing significant business interruptions. So, to mitigate this risk effectively, we propose several measures. Firstly, regular software updates through automated patch management to keep our system updated, to keep our system current. Secondly, enhancing access controls with multi-factor authentication to add an extra layer of security. Lastly, improving data encryption standards with technologies like AES 256 for data at rest and TLLs for data in transit, ensuring robust protection of our financial data. Moving on to the procurement server, it also has critical vulnerabilities such as insecure data storage without encryption, inadequate authentication relying on weak passwords, and outdated software. So, these vulnerabilities expose us to threats like supply chain attacks, where compromised procurement data could lead to counterfeit parts entering our supply chain. Additionally, unauthorized access and exploits targeting outdated software pose significant risk as well. So, the risk severity remains moderate here as well. Breaches could compromise procurement accuracy and efficiency, impacting our overall operations. Outdated software vulnerabilities might also disrupt procurement processes. So, how do we strengthen our procurement server? We recommend encrypting all stored procurement data to safeguard its integrity. We also propose enforcing strong passwords and implementing multi-factor authentication to secure access points effectively. Furthermore, utilizing automated tools for timely security patches would help mitigate risks associated with outdated software vulnerabilities. Lastly, let's discuss our maintenance and production server. They face vulnerabilities such as weak firewalls configuration, irregular backup procedures, and excessive permission in access control. These vulnerabilities pose significant threats as well. Weak firewall configurations may leave our network connection vulnerable to external attacks. Irregular backup procedures increase the risk of data loss impacting our production operations, and excessive permission could lead to internal misuse or even unauthorized action. The risk severity here is moderate as well. Unsecured network connection could compromise our production environment and data availability. Insufficient backups might lead to extended downtime in case of data loss incidents. So weak access controls increase the risk of unauthorized activities as well. To mitigate this risk effectively, we propose comprehensive strategies. Securing our network architecture through segmentation and deploying enhanced firewall will bolster our defenses against network attacks. Establishing regular backup schedules and testing backup integrity will ensure quick recovery in case of data loss incidents. Implementing role based access controls to enforce least privilege will mitigate the risk of internal misuse and unauthorized actions as well. So, in conclusion, by addressing these vulnerabilities with targeted risk treatments, we can protect our servers from range of cyber threats and ensure the integrity and availability of our critical data. Thank you for your attention. I am confident that these measures will significantly enhance our overall cybersecurity posture. And now I will pass the presentation to Tasha, who will now continue the session.
Hello everyone, my name is Thasayaini. I'm part of our cybersecurity initiative at XYZ Semiconductor Limited. Today I'll be discussing the security of our Microsoft 365 suite, which is integral to our daily communication and email interaction. So let's delve into the vulnerabilities of our system. Okay, our primary concern is phishing suspectability. Despite training, some users still struggle to recognize phishing attempts, which can lead to unauthorized data disclosure. We also have weak password policies that do not deter brute force attack effectively. Furthermore, our access control aren't strict enough, which can lead to misuse and data leakage. Uh, Lastly, our software patching is not as regular as it should be, leaving our system prone to exploitation. Yep. These vulnerabilities expose us to several threats. Phishing attacks are particularly dangerous as they manipulate the user to voluntarily hand over sensitive information. Brute force attacks are a constant threat due to our improper password policies. Insider threat also pose a significant risk as they can lead to both intentional and unintentional data leaks. Lastly, unpatched vulnerabilities are like a gold mine for the attackers, allowing them to explore outdated system to gain unauthorized access to our system and our informations. Risk severity. Okay, this the risk severity from this issue is universally moderate. Okay, phishing can lead to significant breaches of sensitive data, impacting our financial and reputational standing. Brute force attack compromise user accounts, leading to potential data leaks. insider threat undermine our data confidentiality, though this can be partly mitigated with better monitoring. And the unpatched software can lead to extensive system compromise, but can be curbed with proper patch management. Okay. To address this risk, we can propose comprehensive treatments. Okay, first of all, we can implement advanced email filtering with with the help of AI and threat intelligence. Will reduce phishing risk by intercepting decaptive email before they reach the users. Enforcing strong password policies and multi-factor authentication will help toward brute force attacks and secure user accounts against the unauthorized access. And okay. Additionally, implementing RBAC, which is role-based access control, this will ensure employees only can access the information necessary for their roles, minimizing the insider threats and accidental data exposure. Regular software patching and update also are very crucial. We must establish a strict schedule for updating Office 365 and related apps to close the security gaps promptly. Okay, by proactively addressing these vulnerabilities with the outlined strategies, we can safeguard our communication system against current and future cyber attacks. So that's all from me. Thank you for your attention. I believe these measures will significantly enhance our cybersecurity defense. It is now my pleasure to pass the discussion to Sharvin, who will continue with their detailed countermeasures. Measures. Um, Thank you.
Let's dive into the countermeasures we have developed for SCADA systems, covering policies, procedures, controls, and the people aspect to ensure a defense against cyber threat. So, starting with our policy, we have implemented a patch management policy that mandates regular updates and patching of our software systems. This policy is crucial because it directly addresses vulnerabilities that could be exploited by attackers. By keeping our systems up to date, we significantly lower the risk of breaches from known vulnerabilities. The expected outcome is a lower residual risk severity, maintaining our system's integrity and security. So next is our access control policy. We have institute strict access control mechanism along with MFA, which is multi-factor authentication. This policy ensures that only authorized personnel can access sensitive systems, drastically reducing the risk of unauthorized access. The effectiveness of this policy is critical in protecting our SCADA network from potential intrusions. On the procedures front, we have established a detailed incident response procedure that outlines clear steps to be taken during security incidents. These procedures is designed to minimize the impact and ensure quick recovery. Additionally, our monitoring and reporting procedures leverages IDs and SIEM systems for continuous surveillance and timely reporting of suspicious activities. These procedures enhance our detection capabilities and speed up our response time to potential threats. So looking at our controls, we have deployed several technical measures, including IDS, IPS, and SIEM systems. These technical controls created a layered security architecture that not only prevents unauthorized access but also enhances our monitoring and detection capabilities. We have also strengthened our security with surveillance cameras and access badges to control and monitor physical access to SCADA nodes. Turning to our people oriented measures, we have instituted regular cybersecurity awareness and specific SCADA security training programs. These training are designed to educate our employees about the best practices and potential threats they might face. Furthermore, we have clearly defined roles and responsibilities for SCADA management and incident response, ensuring everyone knows what is expected of them in maintaining and protecting our infrastructure. Our implementation plan starts with assessing our current security posture to identify any existing vulnerabilities. We then develop and document the necessary policies and procedures. Following this, we implement the technical and physical controls and conduct extensive training for all relevant staffs. Lastly, we regularly test and review all the measures to ensure that their effectiveness and make adjustment as needed. So with these comprehensive countermeasures in place, we are not only prepared to defend against cyber threats, but also adaptable to future challenges. Thank you for your attention. I will now pass it to Satish, who will present their countermeasures. Thank you.
Moving on to the countermeasures for our file servers and critical data, I will now outline the key policies, procedures, controls, and people-focused measures we have implemented to safeguard these vital assets. Starting with our policies, our access control policy clearly defines who can access which specific data and which systems based on security and business needs. This policy helps mitigate risk by ensuring access is strictly regulated. On the other hand, our patch management policy details our update strategies, including frequency and responsibilities. This policy is crucial for minimizing the vulnerabilities associated with outdated software. We also have a data encryption policy that mandates encryption for data in storage and in transit, ensuring the security against interception. Lastly, our data redundancy and backup policy covers backup strategies to eliminate risk from single points of failure, ensuring that critical data can be restored if needed. In terms of procedures, we conduct regular access reviews to audit user privileges, ensuring only authorized individuals have access to sensitive information. Moreover, our security patch implementation procedure provides detailed steps for performing updates without disturbing the system functions. And the encryption deployment procedure outlines the implementation and testing of encryption technologies to secure data without impacting performance. Additionally, our disaster recovery and business continuity procedure ensures that we are prepared for system failures, where it details steps for data recovery and system restoration. Next, our controls include role-based access control, which ensures that users can only access information based on their roles, thereby minimizing unauthorized accesses. We also have automated patch management tools where we are using it to regulate update and patch systems, reducing the chances of exploitation from outdated software. Also, implementing an end-to-end encryption secures data both in storage and during transit, directly addressing the risk of interception. We also have redundant systems and failover mechanisms in place to maintain functionality even if the primary systems fail, thus addressing the single points of failure. Focusing on the human element now, we conduct regular security awareness training to educate employees on security policies and phishing mechanisms and safe internet practices. This training is essential for reducing risk arising from human errors. The technical training for our IT staff ensures that they are up to date with the latest security practices and threat detection techniques. We also provide data handling and confidentiality training to minimize the risk of data leaks or unauthorized access. Lastly, our emergency response training prepares staff to respond effectively to system failures and data loss incidents, minimizing downtime and data loss. By implementing these comprehensive countermeasures, we significantly enhance the security of our file servers and critical data, reducing the risk of unauthorized access, data breaches, and system failures. That is all. Thank you for your attention. I will now pass the presentation to Nitya, who will discuss their countermeasures. Thank you.
Alright, so let's discuss the countermeasures for our financial server, procurement server, and maintenance production server. I'll cover our strategies across policies, procedures, controls, and people aspects to secure these assets. Starting with policies for financial server, our patch management policy mandates regular updates for all software and server components, ensuring they remain secure. Our access control policy requires strong authentication, including multi-factor authentication, also known as MFA, to prevent unauthorized access. Additionally, our encryption policy mandates that all sensitive financial data be encrypted both at rest and in transit using strong encryption algorithms. For procedures, we have developed an automated patch deployment procedure to ensure immediate patching upon release, minimizing vulnerabilities. Our MFA implementation procedure outlines the steps for managing MFA across all the accounts. We also have an encryption implementation procedure to consistently apply encryption technologies, keeping the sensitive data secured. For controls, we perform regular vulnerability scanning to identify and prioritize critical patches. We enforce the least privilege principle through role-based access control, RBAC, limiting access to only necessary resources. Additionally, we have established encryption monitoring controls to audit encryption protocols regularly. For the human element, we conduct regular training and awareness sessions for our IT staff covering timely patching, strong authentication practices, and encryption protocols. So this training ensures our staff are well prepared and trained to protect our financial server. These countermeasures fortify our financial server against cyber threats by implementing robust policies, procedures, controls, and continuous training. We significantly enhance our security. Now let's discuss the countermeasures for our procurement server. For the procurement server, our data storage and encryption policy ensures secure storage and transmission of data. Our authentication policy requires strong passwords and regular changes with consideration of MFA. And our software update policy mandates regular updates for all the software and server components. Moving forward, procedures. So we have data classification and segmentation procedure to isolate sensitive data. We also have password management procedure that enforces strong password practices. And we also have patch management procedure that ensures patches are applied without disrupting the operations. For the controls, we deploy encryption technologies for all the systems handling procurement data. Our authentication auditing controls monitor authentication attempts and password changes. We also use vulnerability assessment tools to scan and prioritize software updates. For the people element, for the human element, we provide procurement staff with training on data classification, secure storage, password security, and phishing awareness, ensuring they are well trained and informed and capable of protecting the sensitive data. These countermeasures enhance the security of our procurement server by addressing potential vulnerabilities and reinforcing defenses. Lastly, let's discuss the countermeasures for our maintenance and production server. For the maintenance production server, our network segmentation policy isolates critical systems. And then we have backup recovery policy that mandates regular backups and data integrity tests. And access control policy enforces role-based access controls. For the procedures, we have segmentation implementation procedure for network segmentation. Our backup procedure outlines steps for scheduling and verifying backups. And we have RBAC, role-based access control implementation procedure defines roles and regularly reviews the access rights for each roles. We enhance firewall configuration to monitor traffic between network zones. Our backup monitoring control ensures scheduled backups are performed and verified. We also implement strong authentication mechanisms such as MFA. For the people, we train network administrators, IT staff, and system administrators on network segmentation, firewall management, access management, and backup procedures to ensure they are well prepared to manage and protect our production system. These countermeasures fortify our maintenance production server against threats by implementing robust policies, procedures, and this continuous training. We significantly enhance our security. Thank you for your attention. I will now pass the presentation to Tasha, who will discuss their countermeasures. Thank you.
Let's now discuss the countermeasures we have put in place to secure our Microsoft Office 365 suite for email and communication, focusing on policies, procedures, controls, and people aspects. Okay. Starting with the policies, our phishing awareness policy mandates regular training on recognizing and preventing phishing emails, including periodic phishing simulation tests. This proactive approach helps employees stay vigilant. Next, our password strength policy requires all users to create a complex password, use special characters, capital letters, and change password regularly. This significantly reduces the risk of unauthorized access. We have also established an access control policy that incorporates role-based access control to restrict access based on employees' duties and responsibilities. Lastly, our patch management policy ensures all the program, including Office 365, are updated frequently to apply vendor patches and address known vulnerabilities promptly. Okay. For procedures, we have phishing response procedure that outlines how employee should report phishing emails, including immediate IT department notifications and future prevention measures. Our password management procedure provides guidelines for creating strong password, using password managers, and safely changing password. Additionally, our access review procedure involves systemic checks of granted permissions, ensuring only current employees have access relevant to their roles. The patchment deployment procedure outlines steps for timely patching, including testing patches in a staging environment before full deployment and documenting the update process. Okay, in terms of controls, we used advanced email filtering to detect phishing scams using machine learning and threat intelligence. We have also implemented multi-factor authentication for all users, adding extra layer of security, even if the password are compromised. Okay. RBAC in Office 365 restrict access based on the job roles, ensuring employees only access necessary information. Automated patch management tool ensure timely and uniform application of security patches and update across all systems. Okay. On the human front, we conduct regular user training and awareness sessions to educate employees about the phishing schemes and the security measures, including stimulated phishing activities to practice learned skills. Our IT support for password management provides tools like password generators and management to help users maintain strong passwords. We have also established an access control management team to audit access control compliance and address related issues. Lastly, our patch management team oversees the entire patch management process from monitoring new vulnerabilities to ensure timely patch deployment. In conclusion, this comprehensive countermeasure for Microsoft Office 365 should enhance our cybersecurity posture by addressing vulnerabilities and reinforcing defense against potential threats. By implementing all these strategies, we ensure security for our communication and email system, protecting our sensitive data and maintaining operational integrities. Okay, so thank you for your attention throughout this presentation. Our combined uh, effort and the detailed countermeasures we have discussed today will significantly strengthen our cybersecurity framework. Together, we can safeguard XYZ Semiconductor Limited against current and future threats. If there are any questions or further discussions needed, we are here to address them. Okay, and yeah, that's it. Ladies and gentlemen, as we wrap up today's presentation, let's reflect on the comprehensive measure we have outlined to enhance the security for our Microsoft Office by implementing advanced policies, religious procedures, robust controls, continuous training, and utilizing innovative technologies, we can significantly reduce the risk associated with phishing, weak password, access control, and unpatched software. Our collaborative efforts and proactive strategies will not only protect our data but also ensure the integrity of our communication. Together, we can safeguard XYZ Semiconductor Limited against both current emerging cyber threats. Thank you for your attention. So let's move on with confidence in our strengthened cybersecurity posture. If there is any question, our team is here to assist. Thank you.